Hi, fifth grade artists. Welcome to week 2 of our expedition project, A Portrait of Activism. This week we're going to be doing some skills practice by participating in a photo scavenger hunt. You have 6 steps this week, but the supplies are minimal. All you'll need is a camera or a device with photo taking capabilities. We're going to do the first 2 steps together, and I'll go over steps 3 through 6, but those steps are going to be completed independently after you watch this video. Step 1 is to watch the slide directional video, which is what you're watching right now. So congratulations, you can go ahead and check that one off in your brain once you're done watching the video. Step 2 is our second thing we're going to be doing together. We're going to review our learning targets for this week. And we'll talk about step 3, 4, and 5 when we go to the slides that they're on. Step 1 is watching the video. I'm going to plug it in right there. So if you are watching this, you've already done that, and I'm going to go on to the next slide. Our learning targets for this week, we have 1. We are going to be completing let me try again. We have 1 learning target this week. Our learning target is, this week I will complete a photo scavenger hunt so that I can explore how to take many different types of photographs. Right here we have a list of all kinds of things. So for our third step is we're going to choose at least 5 items from this list. So you could choose something with wheels, something that can be recycled, something which can balance on something else. You're going to choose 5 of these things. These 5 items are going to be the objects you photograph this week. So make sure that each 5 is something that you find interesting. You can do these inside or outside. Just make sure that you let a grown-up know where you are. If you choose to go outside, make sure that you have an adult with you. Step 4 is to get your camera ready. So for each 5 items, you are going to take at least 10 photos of each of your chosen object from different angles. You should have at least 50 photographs by the end of the scavenger hunt, 10 for each of your 5 scavenger hunt items. So I thought about what I thought was most interesting on this list, and it also happens to be the first one. So my example is something which floats. I chose a rubber ducky, and I actually did not take these photographs because I did not have time, which makes me feel really, really sad. But I selected 10 photographs of the rubber ducky to show you that you need to have 10 photos of each of your items. Please make sure you are taking actual photos. I will be able to tell if you are taking them from Google or from an image search. So please choose to show integrity and make sure that each of the photos that you take are your own so that we know how we're doing on our photography skills so far and what we need to work on for next time. All right, guys, the next step after you've taken all of your photographs is to choose your best photographs. This is a process called editing, and photographers do it all of the time. Here's an example right here of this person took a photograph of this gentleman, a portrait. You can see they took at least 6. These are called a test sheet where they print out this is from when film was predominant. With a digital camera, you can obviously just look at it on your screen or on your computer. But when they used film, they had to print out hard copies to see which ones they liked the best, and they drew on top of them with an oil pencil to show which one they like, which ones they're not sure about, and which ones they're not going to use, and that way they know that they can use that negative to print a larger version of that. So the biggest part of a photographer's job is choosing their best shot after a photo session. You want to focus on composition, focus, and lighting. focus, you want to be able to see your subject clearly. If it's moving or if it's blurry, it's going to be really hard to tell what it is. There are some kinds of photographs where having some blurry aspects is okay, but for a portrait, we want to really make sure that everything is crisp and clear. We also want to make sure that our lighting is really great. We want to make sure it's just right, not too light, which is called washed out or overexposed, or too dark, which is called underexposed. We want it to be neutral, right in the middle. We also want to be thinking about our composition. We want our composition to be interesting. So you could take a picture of something where it just looks like it's sitting there. You have this object that looks like it's balanced on top of this muffin, which is clearly the focal point. You have a random, it looks like a piece of flatware, kind of cutting the muffin off in the background. And then you have this picture that's very well organized. So they stacked muffins together to make it more interesting. They eliminated all of the random stuff in the background, and they added details by adding something that was on theme and on point to kind of scatter around it and make sure that the focus is 100% on this stack of chocolate chip muffins in the middle. So those are all things to keep in your brain. And while you're looking at all of your photographs, you can choose your favorite 5, one from each item, but make sure that they're in focus, that they're not too light or too dark, and make sure that we don't have random things floating around in the background or cutting off our subject. When you've chosen your 5 high-quality photos, go ahead and turn those in to Google Classroom by Friday at 8. Your work will be graded on if they're completed or not. I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with, and I'm excited to see your photos. If you would like to do optional art, we have a lesson right here. You can just click on that and read through the directions. This is on taking still lifes, which are a little bit different than portraits, but it also talks about lighting and composition, which is important in a portrait as well as a still life. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. A couple of you have emailed me, which is great, with a lot of really great questions. So please, if you are confused at all, I am available to help in any way that I can. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and stop right here for this week. We're going to go on to our second draft next week, and we'll have Miss Alyssa and I have some really big things planned for you guys. So we'll talk a little bit more about that going into the next couple weeks. And I will see you for next week's video. All right, guys. Enjoy. Have a great time with your photo scavenger hunt,